Hey guys, Rick here. Today we're going to be going over what some alphabet boys have defined as a weapon originally designed, made, and intended to fire a projectile from one or more barrels when held in one hand, and having a chamber as an integral part of or permanently aligned with the bore. Or, as we've commonly come to know it as, the pistol. One of these guys. All right, so the first thing we're going to go over is the three main types of pistols: semi-automatics, Derringers, and revolvers. So the first thing is semi-automatics, or your automatics, since they automatically load around into the chamber. They're like these guys. So the way they work, you have a magazine, inserts, and it will strip a round from the magazine and automatically load it into the chamber. That is why it's called an automatic. And these things are semi-automatic pistols. You squeeze a bullet, round comes out. Weapon cycles, trigger reset. Get the picture? Okay, pretty easy, right? So, revolvers. Dirty Harry pistol. Friggin' been around forever. They are responsible for modern firearms as we have it now. And they're still pretty common, actually. You can get them in a wide variety of calibers, colors, customization. And as a little to no fail pistol, they're a great option. Then you have Derringers. Derringers, they break over. You put two rounds in them, you put them back. They come in a couple different calibers. They're pretty nice because some of them you can change out the barrels, thus changing out the caliber. Little hammer fires, so it's just two shots, bang bang. Not super uncommon. You can still find them. They're less commonplace today because the size that they are, we have a lot of pistols in that size anymore. Derringers are still going to be smaller, but we're getting pretty freaking close. All right, so when we're talking about automatics, you have striker fire versus hammer fire. So striker fire is going to be a pistol like this. There's no hammer, nothing exposed. All there is, there's a firing pin back here that when you work the action, the gun cocks itself. And there's an indicator in there that, I'll show you a close-up of that will let you know that it is primed, it is ready to fire. Then all you have to do is fire. Now a hammer would have a hammer on the back, and it would rock and set back, and would come forward in a very violent fashion, striking the primer. At which point the weapon fires. Both are equally as common. Striker fires are taking over the market, but hammer fires have been around forever and are crazy reliable, and arguments can be made that they're a little bit more accurate just because of the overall function of them and everything. The single action versus double action. So this is going to pertain really to your revolvers and your hammer fire pistols. So with single action, a single action is performed every time. So on a revolver, a single action revolver, you pull the hammer back and then you fire. This is your cowboy style where you see them kind of ga 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 fire off rounds like that. Yeah, some Dog Holiday shit. So that's your single action. Some people call it cowboy action. Knowledge. Double action. You squeeze the trigger, and the hammer comes back, and then steps forward. And then the weapon cycles. The hammer stays forward. Now, that was a big thing that came out. It allowed you to fire that pistol without having to manually reset the hammer. A double action. 2 actions are performed. Super nice, right? Well, now there's something called single action, double action. I say now like it's a new thing. It's been around for decades. So single action, double action, the first time you pull the trigger, the hammer will pull back and then set forward. And then when the slide comes back, because as these things fire, slide comes back, go back forward, right? So as it comes back forward, the hammer stays down. That way the next time you just have a single action, making that next trigger pull very light. So for considerations, the single action, double action is a really good option to have for duty pistols, carry pistols, concealed carry pistols. They're very, 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 very common because you have to mean for that first round to go off. It's not going to just accidentally go off. That's usually a heavy trigger pull. I found 7 to 10 pounds is about average for that first trigger pull on a single action, double action. Now you can get up there to like, I think SIG has a couple that are like 12 and 14, some really heavy trigger pulls where you got to mean to get that first round to go off. And then it switches over to single action. That way your follow-on shots, they're real light, real crisp. All you have to do is just move the trigger. You're not moving the hammer. Hammer's already set. You just got to move that trigger to let that hammer fall. Very, very, very light. Great to make good follow-on shots with. Now, where is that beneficial versus a striker fire? Striker fire pistols, some of them don't have a safety, like this guy. So, the safety on them, there's no like manual safety back here. It's a trigger safety. And this is going to be a topic for a later video, but some people argue that hammer fire pistols are safer to carry than striker fire pistols. The argument's there. I totally understand it. I see it. I get it. It registers. I don't carry hammer fire pistols. There's a big hammer sticking out, digs into me. But if you're carrying it like in a purse or if you carry like on your hip, cool. I appendix carry, so I'm not really too worried about it. I like my stuff to be small and sleek and everything, but that's going to be at your discretion. Find what's going to be best for you. So, considerations. If you're considering a Derringer, you have 2 shots. Better fucking make them count. Yes, there are Derringers that can make better shots. Yes, there are guys that make crazy shots with Derringers. Blah, blah, blah. They're designed from a parking lot engagement where like I'm shooting at a guy like trying to like mug me in my car, trying to mug me in an alleyway. You're not making distant shot with these things, and you're not going to make follow-on shots very efficiently. If you have multiple attackers, if it's 2 attackers, 2 guys get a bullet. If it's 3 attackers, one guy's going to get a right hook or something. I don't know. You better figure something out. But they're very easily concealed. So revolvers, they work pretty much every time. You pick them up, you squeeze the trigger, bullet comes out. That's how they work. You don't have to worry about a lot of springs and a lot of mechanisms going wrong with them. Can it happen? Yes, I get it. This is a channel for generalizations, remember that. So with revolvers, you do only have 6 rounds, or 7 or 8, depending on your revolver. You don't got a lot of rounds, that's the thing. Also, rapid reloads, yeah, there's guys that have those moon clips that throw them in there and pop them back in, you know, Jerry Mickle like a boss. Cool. In a panic situation, you're not moving like that. You're just not. Unless you have proper training, key thing. Yeah, they're accurate. Revolvers are stupid accurate. Guys make like insane shots with them. They're a little bulkier, for the most part. Again, generalizations. They're a little bulkier. They sit a little wider because of the cylinder. You do have limited ammo. So your reloads, you can't perform a reload like that. You just can't. You're not going to hold 15 rounds. And it is something to consider. Reliability, limited ammo capacity. With automatics, for the most part, they're as reliable as anything else anymore. They just freaking work. You have an increased magazine capacity. They're a little bit bigger for the most part. Again, you have like Glock 43s. I'm a Walther PP guy because, you know, fucking James Bond, right? So you have some small pistols. And you can hold a decent amount of ammo with them. I mean, for a while, that was the big allure to them. That's why military switched away from them, because they were getting 5 or 6 shots and getting 10 shots all of a sudden, 7, 8, 10 shots. It's like, why wouldn't you? Also, you can carry more ammo. If you have 2 magazines and 15 rounds, you got 30 rounds of ammunition, you're good for a firefight. A quick one. You're not fighting in Afghanistan with 2 magazines. But if you keep it in your car and you have a quick little grab and you have 15 rounds there, you got multiple attackers, you're fine. That's the thing. You always got to think. It's not always just you versus another dude. Sometimes it's like 3 freaking dudes trying to jack you, trying to kill you, trying to steal something from you. Ammo capacity, right? Volume of fire. So that is something to consider. What are you using it for? What are you comfortable with? What fits your needs? I can't tell you what you need. I can't tell you what you should have. If it was my way, everybody'd have an automatic 9mm or 45 or 10mm. But that's not the world we live in. Everybody has a different need for a different tool. Because as much of a multi-tool as these things are, there is still some specialty. Last thing I'm going to touch on for consideration, whatever you buy, be proficient. Buying a Derringer, maybe get used to shooting it. Get used to how that recoil feels. That is a small package, and if you're one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm going to get a 45 Derringer, you better know what that thing feels like in your hand. Otherwise, it's going to shock the shit out of you in a bad time. Know how that thing feels. Know how it feels in your hand to shoot it. Know how it feels to reload it. Know how it feels to move and shoot with it. With revolvers, take some classes. There is tons and 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 tons of guys out there that have revolver classes. Teach you how to use a revolver like a pro. Whether it's a single action or a double action or whatever type of revolver you choose to buy. There's a guy out there that can run it better than you. Seek them out. Get their knowledge. Training. Semi-automatic, or your automatics. I don't really need to teach that. There might be somebody else out there that might run that thing pretty well. Get training. There's always local guys in your area, and if not, you can look some guys up that can give you some amazing classes. With that, you also want to know what caliber you're going to be shooting. 9mm, 45, 10mm. Don't do that. Not at this level. If you're watching this channel, 10mm might not be for you. 357 Magnum, 38 Special, 380, 32 ACP, I guess. Walther PP. Little Makarov pistols, the 9x18 Makarovs. Like, just know what you're buying, know what caliber you like. Try that caliber in a couple different platforms. If you're wanting to go with a automatic pistol, try a couple 9mm platforms, try a couple 45 caliber platforms. See which one you like. With 45s, I found that going with a striker fire, the recoil is a little rough on them. A little bit. Nature of the beast, these are just lighter pistols. maybe check out something with a hammer. You'll find that 45s generally are more comfortable to shoot with a hammer fire pistol. 2011, which is a double stack 1911. SIGs, love SIGs. Some of your HKs, some of your HK 45s. Try a couple different platforms. 9mm goes great with both. Try some Glocks, try some SIGs, try HK, try Smith & Wesson M&P, try Springfield XD. Every one of them is going to have a little different feel to them, and everyone's going to handle their recoil a little differently. Know what caliber you like, and know what platform you like it in. If you just shoot a bunch of, like, say you shoot 5 platforms of 9mm and 5 platforms of 45, and you just like the way the 9mm feels, then find your favorite there. Just start narrowing it down. Start broad, narrow down. All right, that's my pistol basics. That's just basic stuff you should probably know and consider. If there's anything in particular you want to know, leave a comment down below. And do the like and subscribe thing, because you're your own person. Do whatever you want. I can't make you do anything. Free country. But it helps. If that's it, stay safe, be smart, be a good dude.